Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Aqila Nisa Firdausi and I will presentation about the journal The Effect of a Breastfeeding Support Program on Breastfeeding Duration and Exclusively. Breastfeeding has important positive long-term health consequences for infants and mothers, such as lower risk of infection, malocclusion, sudden infant death syndrome, decreased risk of necrotising, enterocytitis, overweight, and diabetes. The World Health Organization recommends that all infants should be exclusively breastfed for 6 months or longer, and advises continuation of breastfeeding for 2 years or beyond. However, these recommendations are not met in many countries. This journal examines whether a comprehensive, evidence-based breastfeeding intervention and the breastfeeding support program. This study had a quasi-experimental design with one experimental group and one control group, with pre- and post-test. Final inclusion criteria were 1 is being pregnant, 2 planning to be breastfed, 3 having access to the internet, 4 having singleton gestation, and 5 non-missing data for the breastfeeding duration. All the women who indicated an interest participating in the study received an email with the further instruction and a link to complete an online pretest questionnaire. Invitation to complete the pretest questionnaire were sent from month 6 of pregnancy, making sure participants had some time to consider their breastfeeding plans. Invitation for the post-test questionnaire were sent from 28 weeks after the due date, thus making sure that at least 26 weeks had passed since delivery. The BSP tries to increase the proportion of mothers who breastfed exclusively for 6 months or longer by positively influencing. First, in the mother attitude towards breastfeeding. Second, the subjective norm. Third, is the mother perceived behavioral control. The protocol for 6 consults. First, the program begins with an intake consult at the lactation consultant office during pregnancy. The second consult is held during the first week after delivery. The third consult is conducted by telephone on day 15 after delivery to discuss the breastfeeding process. The fourth consult is again conducted by telephone on day 28 after delivery to discuss the breastfeeding process. The fifth consult is held 5 weeks after delivery at the lactation consultant office. And the sixth and the final consult is held 10 weeks after delivery by telephone and focus on further support for returning to work. And then there is 2 variables. First, dependent, and second is control variables. In dependent variables, there are 1. Duration of any breastfeeding. 2 is duration of exclusively breastfeeding. Measure these variables by asking 3 questions in the post-test. First, the last time received breast milk. 2. The first time received artificial feeding. Third is the first time received solid food. In control variables, there is 45 possible confounders was measured at pre-test and post-test. First, physical-social variables. 2. Demographic variables, and third is biomedical variables. The result is controlling for difference at baseline. There was on average 66% less risk of cessation of any breastfeeding, and on average 54% less risk of cessation of exclusive breastfeeding at any point of time among mothers in the BSP group compared to those in the control group. Conclusions is given the important positive long-term health consequence of breastfeeding for infants and mothers. Knowledge about effective breastfeeding support program is highly relevant. This research demonstrates that mothers enrolled in the BSP engage in prolonged breastfeeding in terms of duration exclusively compared to mothers in a control group. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.